Hi friends, and welcome back to Rugged Mountain Homestead. My name is Sarah, and today I'm going to be trying something a little bit different here in the kitchen. As most of you know, I love all things vintage, and I have this Better Homes and Gardens new cookbook. This is from 1953. It is a first edition and 8th printing. And I got this at not an auction, an estate sale. Got it. I got this at an estate sale and it is in just perfect condition. Well, all that to be saying this. I want to start making another item so that I can cross it off my list for ordering it, and that is mayonnaise. Now, mayonnaise falls under salad dressing back in a cookbook from 1953. And if I remember correctly, my grandmother always used Miracle Whip, but she called it salad dressing. So they used it some on salads, and then they also used it to put on sandwiches. Well, I need to make some deviled ham. I have some leftover ham, and I need to turn it into a sandwich spread. So I'm going to be making mayonnaise, not from any of the recipes I've seen online, but from this recipe here in this vintage cookbook. So it sounds pretty interesting, but the one ingredient it calls for quite a bit of is oil, salad oil specifically. So I did get some olive oil, and it is only 16 ounces. So I am going to be cutting this recipe in half because I did not want to use this whole bottle because I'm really limiting myself, because this is now a splurge item because olive oil is so expensive. And I can't really think of any other oil that I would use as a salad oil. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, before anyone takes a hard notice and says anything, when I turn the camera, you're going to see that I still have my garland up on my banister here. Well, I've talked to Dean, and I love the holidays and the decorating and all that goes with that. But I've taken down anything that would be deemed Christmas per se, like my Santa was hanging behind the wood stove, and a couple of things that said Merry Christmas on it. But I've decided that I'm going to stay semi-decorated for winter. So the month of January, I can keep all the little snowmen and my lights and different things like that. I'm probably going to take them down the end of January, but slow but sure. So just that disclaimer in there before anybody says anything about it. I'm not being lazy, I'm just enjoying it. Okay, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to be putting the dry ingredients into this container. It goes to my immersion blender. It kind of looks like a beaker, measuring cup, whatever, but it has the measurements on the side. But I'm still going to be very particular about this since I've never done it before, and go ahead and make the mayonnaise. But like I said, I'm going to cut the recipe in half. The first thing is going to be a ½ teaspoon of salt. Like I said, in the book it says 1 teaspoon of salt, but I'm gonna, when I talk about it out loud, I'm gonna give the half size because that's how my brain works. Okay, so ½ teaspoon. ¼ teaspoon of dry mustard, 1/8 of a teaspoon of paprika, and a dash of cayenne. I'm going to be very careful with that. Now, I'm going to be using this cayenne red pepper. I use it for things like this, the ground cayenne pepper, because my homegrown cayenne pepper from the cayenne peppers that were in the garden this year, I could not get all the seeds out. And as you can see, that is a flaming reddish orange. And I have used this in a couple of things like making gumbo and stuff like that. This stuff is hot. It puts store-bought cayenne to shame. I mean, you can even see the differences in the color. I mean, this stuff is fire. Anyway, when Dean was helping me with it, the powder that was already forming, because we ran it through the food processor, and of course the seeds hold a lot of heat, we were coughing and choking because we could feel that powder on the back of our throat. And even though we had more, I was like, okay, this is enough. This will last us plenty long. Just a little side note there. So a dash of cayenne. Whew, that's a dash. That's a little bit more than a dash, but can't take it out now. 1 egg yolk. That's a mess. Okay, so here we have our 1 egg yolk. All right. So yeah, I mean, I kind of did blend it up. It's kind of a weirdish color. Okay, now I moved us over to this cabinet here because it calls for all the wet ingredients and I need to be closer to my immersion blender, the rotary beater. I'm sorry guys, some of this medicine I'm taking for my back, just my brain doesn't always connect right away. All right, so we've done the egg yolk and we're going to put in a tablespoon of vinegar. It did not specify white vinegar, apple cider vinegar. So for this, I'm just going to use white vinegar. Now it says to mix well after adding the vinegar. So, God, this is what I'm talking about. It always works better if you plug it in. Okay. Now add your salad oil while beating with a rotary beater. So we're going to be using 1 cup of salad oil. Okay. Okay. This is going to get interesting. Okay, and a tablespoon of lemon juice. I don't have a fresh lemon. I used it all, so I have some lemon juice, organic lemon juice. So, same thing. Okay. That brightened up that color, but it looks more like mustard than mayonnaise to me. And 1 tablespoon of hot water, which I put in here. And they said that the hot water is just to take away the oily appearance. Never heard of some of these things, but again, this is 1953 when this was written. Okay, now it says for a creamy mayonnaise to add 1/2 cup of heavy cream. Let me see if I have any. That looks awful. It's like mustard. Usually I test these things out before showing you. I don't know why I didn't this time, but hey, we all have fails. Now I've seen it done online. They've just added oil, water, and an egg. So they didn't separate it. So it can't hurt at this point. I'm going to add this egg yolk, this egg white. Since I don't have any heavy cream, and let's see what happens. Okay, that's a little thicker, but you know, as I was thinking, even though this is called mayonnaise in this book, in this cookbook, it's also salad dressing. And that makes sense because there's oil and vinegar and spices. My grandmother is not around any longer for me to ask. And my mom was just a little girl in 1953. Now it has on here variations of mayonnaise. Celery dressing, creamy dressing, which I guess would make it thicker, add a half a cup of heavy cream. Cucumber dressing, Thousand Island dressing, savory mayonnaise. And it still calls for cream. I mean, it tastes good. Nothing wrong with the taste. I'm going to use it. Okay, and I just thought of something. You would think with the heavy cream and the vinegar that really wouldn't go over too well. But it's thickening up. This is what I mean though when I say I go rogue in the kitchen. It's like, okay, well I'm going to add this egg white. And I don't have any heavy cream, but I want to get a little bit more creamy than dressing. So I'm going to add just a little bit of evaporated milk. A little more creamy. Okay. I am obviously not going to get that spreadable consistency that I'm looking for. I'll add some more. See, it's still very much salad dressing, but it's more like a creamy salad dressing. And I'm not going to get the white fluffy because I'm using evaporated milk and not heavy cream. I'm going to try adding a small egg. Man, this is just off the charts. I'm definitely not putting the recipe below because this is just crazy at this point. We'll add the whole egg. It's getting too full to do that. Yep, you saw that correct. That is 3 eggs. Okay, so as for salad dressing, I will use it for that. The taste is not bad. It's more of a creamy salad dressing, and it has been tweaked by myself. So I'm just going to pour it into this mason jar and store it in the refrigerator. Whoa, and I will use it to make that deviled ham. Now for all my sandwich spreads, I use a little egg. Whether it be tuna or chicken or ham. I'm liking the consistency of that. Let's go ahead and put the rest in here. little bit of garlic. I don't have any pickle relish, or I would put a little bit of that in there as well. And I don't like my sandwich spreads sloppy. I like them just moistened enough that they're spreadable. And Dean doesn't like mayonnaise. He will eat it in things like tuna salad, but it's not something he wants spread on his bread. So he always says if I'm making a salad, to go light on the mayonnaise. He would rather have something with a vinegar base. And he's going to get it this time. Use the rest of this. That's going to do it for the onion. Tiny bit more salad dressing. Like I said, it doesn't taste bad at all. It just doesn't taste like creamy mayonnaise. It tastes like creamy salad dressing. There's no way that I'm wasting a cup of olive oil. Okay, I think that's going to do it. And now a taste test. That is actually really good. Really, really good. That is a great dressing to use in your sandwich spreads. Okay, so I looked at some recipes online, and it turns out that I was using the wrong attachment on my immersion blender. To make homemade creamy mayonnaise that we're used to buying in the store, you're not to use your rotary beater, but this type of blender. I don't know what this is called, but it's a little sharp. It's not a blade, but it's what you're supposed to be using. Anyway, so now I have the recipe. It's supposed to be super simple, but we'll see. So let's try this one. Okay, so it's to be 1 egg room temperature. A little bit of salt. I'm not going to use a whole 1/4 teaspoon. Just a little bit of salt. 1 tablespoon of vinegar. I'm going to use the apple cider vinegar this time. 1 teaspoon of mustard. This is my mustard. I do make it. Dean loves it. So 1 teaspoon. Just going to dip it in there. Nice. I did add salt. Okay, and then it says a cup of olive oil. I am hesitant to use the whole cup this time. So I think what I'll do is I will add 1/2 cup and we'll take it from there. Or maybe 3/4 cup. This is going to take the rest of my olive oil, which makes me very sad. All right, because I don't want a greasy, oily vinegar. I want it to be thick and creamy. Did I say vinegar? I want a thick and creamy mayonnaise. I'm telling you, this pain med I'm taking, my brain just... All right, so you're supposed to put it all the way to the bottom, which I'm doing, and then just move up as it starts to make mayonnaise at the bottom. And we'll turn it up a little bit. Hang on, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and just add the rest to make a cup. There. Well, it's definitely a lot better. And it's definitely creamy. Creamier. And it tastes like mayonnaise, but you can really taste the apple cider vinegar in it. So, here we go again. I just need to make a double recipe. Okay, so we added that. I think I've got enough oil in there. Half a teaspoon of mustard. And apple cider vinegar. I'm only going to use a half a teaspoon. Oh gosh, half of a tablespoon. Gosh. Okay. I really want this to work. I don't want to waste ingredients. All right. Okay, friends, so this is what my life is like right now. I have put it in this pint jar, and it's definitely thicker, but it's still not the consistency that I would like it to be. So I will use it. I'm not going to waste it. I'm wondering if it'll thicken up as it sits in the refrigerator. I don't know. But I'm going to make some tuna salad. I will use this. And it's all good. But again, that's how it goes right now. So yes, this was a fail in my eyes because I didn't end up with beautiful, creamy, thick mayonnaise that you would put on your bread. But I did end up learning a new salad dressing, which we used in the ham salad. And I'm going to figure this out because I want to be able to make it and not have to buy it from the store. I haven't bought mayonnaise in a long time from the store. I've gone without. So I like to put it on my sandwiches. But anyway, that's how it's working for me right now. As I stated earlier in the video, even though I hate it, in situations like this, when you have extreme pain, I am thankful that there is a pain med for me out there. I don't like the side effects, which obviously I can think one thing and another thing comes out of my mouth. That's where we are. But I wanted to let you know the live stream. I have scheduled it. It is going to be on January the 17th. It is going to be 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific, which we had basically people respond from the East Coast, from Mountain Time, and from Pacific Time. So go ahead and mark that on your calendars, January 17, 7 Eastern, 5 Mountain, 4 Pacific. And I picked January 17 on purpose because so many of you have sent me emails and well wishes and prayers, and a couple of you have put me on prayer lists at your church, and I so deeply appreciate that. So on the 16th, I go back to the surgeon and see what she says, because I did do some spinal injections right before Thanksgiving. So that's where we are. I've done physical therapy now. I've had acupuncture with electric stimulation and injections. So we will see what she says next on the 16th, and I will share that with you in the live stream on January 17th. So thank you for joining me at the Rugged Mountain Homestead today. I'm always so glad when you do. I look forward to seeing you on the live stream, and until then, take care.